Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary today. Let me just put the disclaimers up there on the screen so you guys can read them. If you need to pause the video to read them, by all means do that. Now the 3D market commentary, for those that don't know, is a video that we do every day Monday to Friday to give context to an email that we send out every day Monday to Friday, to our free members, by the way. So that email consists of information about major world markets, and we look at three separate elements or three separate statistical probabilities per market, and that's why we call it a 3D market commentary. So I'll show you that in just a second. Now, just to highlight here, if you have any questions, you can email me at becky@tradictive.com. There's also support@tradictive.com, so you can email that as well. Now, another place you can go is this link here, which is tradewithufos.com/Becky. So let me just bring that up. That link will take you to this place. And from here, you can get different apps and platforms, depending on what you want to do. You can scroll down, book one-on-one coaching if you'd like. You can scroll down here, log in for free and ask questions in this area. The good thing about this place is it's kind of like a frequently asked questions section. Other people have asked questions before you, so you might actually have even the answers to your questions already here. If not, you can ask a question here and you're doing somebody else that favor later down the line. So ideally, that's where you'll go for questions. So let's bring up that email. Now, I actually have an outdated one. I didn't get today's one through just yet. So we'll use this as a basis, but of course everything is relevant to what's actually going on in the markets. So we'll use the charts to really go in on the detail for today. So just as a quick summary here, the three different elements that we look at are here. The first one is market climate. So for each of the markets that we look at, we want to know, where is that market likely to go? Is it likely to go up, down, or nowhere? How do we know the answer to that? We use an app called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms you can get it on, and that gives us an indication as to where those probabilities might be. So this is what the app looks like. And if you ignore the lines and focus on the dots, that's what's giving us our probabilities. So if we had a thick blue dot, that tells us probability is upwards. If we have a thick red dot, that tells us probability is downwards. And if we had a thin dot of either colour, that tells us probability is neither direction. So we'll look at that per market. Then what we want to know is, okay, we might have the probabilities of where price might move up or down, or whether it would move up or down or nowhere. We then want to know where specifically is that likely to happen, as in what specific prices. This is where we use buy and sell UFOs. Now, UFO stands for unfilled orders. Essentially what this is doing is looking at where we have lots of buyers waiting to buy and where we have lots of sellers waiting to sell. Why is that important? Because lots of buyers tend to push price up, lots of sellers tend to push price down. So we want to know where they are so we can buy and sell with them. Again, we use technology. We use an app to help us. It's called AutoUFOs, which is this thing here. If we see the green ones, those show us where the buyers are. If we see the red ones, those show us where the sellers are. We have the prices on the right-hand side as well. That's indications of where exactly that's going to happen. So we'll look at that, and then we'll look at market volatility as well, which is how quickly we expect these markets to move. So starting with the S&P 500, that's the top 500 US stocks. Let's have a look at what's going on here. So with the S&P 500, we've of course had a bit of a sell-off recently. We still have probability to the downside here for the US stock market. Thick red dot there, probability down. We have gone, it will now be the 9th day to the downside, which is 3 times longer than what would be normal in terms of a move to the downside. By the way, we're looking at daily charts here, by the way. So different things happen on different time frames. We're looking at daily time frame. So usually on a daily time frame, the US stock market would move down for 9 days. For 3 days. We are currently on number 9. So we are 3 times further to the downside than we should be, or than what would be normal. However, still probability down, and we have sellers above us here between 45.94.25 to 44.37.75. Now they've already worked once. They pushed price down, price came up, hit the sellers, and was pushed down from there. So we already have evidence of these sell orders working. We then have buyers down here at 41.23 to 40.55.5. So we've got a little way to go. For the time being, still probability down there for US stocks or the market index. Now, when it comes to volatility, we would expect that the S&P 500 might move up or down in 1 year by 28.63%. So in a day, that's 79.59 points up or down. In a week, it would be 175.21 points. In a month, 364.71 points up or down. So that's the S&P 500. Now moving on to the next market, which is crude oil. Now before we do that, just to point your attention up here to the different courses that we offer. Futures, stocks, Forex, backtesting, trading plans and psychology. All of our courses, or most of our courses I should say, come with a 3-month complimentary access to our apps. Now AutoClimate, this one down here, is a free app on most platforms. You can get it on anyway. AutoUFOs is a paid for monthly subscription. You can subscribe directly to them. You don't have to do a course in order to use the UFOs. Although most of the time it's actually cheaper to get a course and get 3 months for free than it would be to just get UFOs. So moving on now, looking at oil. With oil, what we have is a thick blue dot there, probability to the upside. We have buyers here at 80.47 to 77.83. No sellers above us, so probability up here for crude oil for the time being. In terms of volatility, we would expect it to move up or down within 1 year of 47.63%. So in a day, 2.59 points. In a week, 5.69 points. And in a month, 11.85 points, either up or down. That's what we'd expect there for crude oil. So moving on to the next market, which is gold. Again, just to highlight down here, the coaching and support that we offer. We do a lot online for free. So you can join us on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and places like that and join us for free online. We also have a closed coaching community as well, so you can check that out. It's a small monthly fee. It gives you access to more things. So gold. With gold, we have, let me just squish this down a bit so we can see it. We have a thick red dot, therefore probability down for the time being with gold. Now saying that, we are about to hit a bunch of buyers. So those are between 1802 to 1781.3. So what we see there is that we've got sellers pushing down because of the climate, and we've got buyers pushing up because of the UFO. So we have two forces going against each other right now. Sellers pushing down, buyers pushing up. Who's going to win? Who knows? Whoever has the most orders, whoever does either more buying or more selling, that's what's going to win. We don't know ahead of time what's going to happen there. All we know is that around about the price right now, we have a fight going on. We want to keep out of that. So for the time being, I would say, let gold define itself one way or the other, and we'll go from there. With volatility for gold, we would expect a movement up or down in 1 year of 16.47%. So in a day, that's 19.16 points. In a week, 42.18 points. And in a month, 87.8 points. Again, either up or down. Okay, so the next market is the US dollar. And as I load this, just to remind you that everything that we're looking at here is yes to do with probabilities and statistics. It's not guaranteed. Nothing is in life, let alone in the markets. We want to make sure that whenever we're trading, we're managing our risk just in case we're wrong. So with the US dollar, we have a thick blue dot, probability upside. Again, similar situation though. We've got price pushing up right now, coming from climate, and we are within a bunch of sellers that are pushing down as we speak, coming from the UFO. Those sellers are between 97.81 to 96.79. We're already in price at 97.115. So we're within these sellers. So again, we've got that battle going on. We've got that fight going on. I would keep out of it. We don't know who's going to win. We don't know who has more orders, either buy orders or sell orders. So let whoever's going to win clear a path, clear probabilities to one side or the other, and then we go from there. In terms of volatility with the US dollar, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year by 6.1%. So in a day, 0.37 points, in a week, 0.81 points, and in a month, 1.69 points. Again, either up or down there for the dollar. Okay. Oh, we've just seen something happen here on the dollar, literally as we've spoken. The buyers took out the sellers. The sellers are no longer there. They've gone, which now means we have a clear run until we get to this stack of sellers between 98.55 to 97.935. So that's literally happened as we were explaining that. The buyers took out the sellers. Chances of that happening within that moment is very slim. So it gives me an opportunity to explain this now. I was just saying, let one side win before we would jump on it. Well, now the buyers have won. The buyers have won in front of our eyes, giving us space to take it up here. So overall now with the dollar, probability to the upside. Okay, so moving on to the final market, which is backed Bitcoin. Oh, there we are, backed Bitcoin. Okay, as I load that, just to point your attention here to our platform. TOP stands for Tradictive Options Planner, but you can use it if you're a stock trader or a futures trader as well. Okay, so backed Bitcoin, we have, unsurprisingly to those that follow these crypto markets, we have a thick red dot, probability down. We do have sellers up here, but a little way away from where we are now. They are between 43,590 to 41,362.5. And we have buyers down here at 32,820 to 31,650. Again, a little way away. So for the time being, probability downwards, coming from the climate, no buyers or sellers close enough to us to really make an impact today. In terms of volatility with this market, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year by 76.17%. So in a day, that's 1,825.14 points. In a week, 4,017.85 points. And in a month, 8,363.83 points up or down. So that comes to the end of each of our markets. Now, just to give you a quick summary, for each of the 5 markets, we've looked at 3 elements. We've looked at market climate. Where do the probabilities lie that the market goes up, down, or nowhere? We get that from our auto climate. In fact, if I just load the dollar, because it gives me some more examples here. Okay, and just squish that down. So we looked at climate, telling us where the probabilities lied. Or laid, and we used auto climate to help us. Did we have a thick blue dot and therefore probability was up? Did we have a thick red dot and therefore probability was down? Or did we have a thin dot of either color and therefore probability was neither way? We looked at that per market. We then looked at buy and sell UFOs, where we had buyers and where we have sellers that could push price up or down respectively. And then we looked at volatility, which is how quickly we expect those markets to move or how far we expect them to move within given periods of time. So with that, there's one more thing to look at, which is our weekly economic calendar. We get it from fxstreet.com. We filter by high impact news because we want to know which scheduled news reports are coming out that could impact the markets that we trade. So today being Thursday, we have some news coming out as the market opens on US markets. So if you trade the dollar or if you trade US markets, be aware of that. You might see some extra movement as a result of that news. Now, if you have any questions, you can email me, becky@tradictive.com. That's hopefully just come up on the screen there. But there's also, of course, tradewithufos.com/Becky, which is this link here. From this link, you can get different apps and platforms, of course. You can get one-on-one coaching directly with me if you'd like. Scroll down, sign in for free, and then you can post some questions on this frequently asked questions section, helping somebody else out if the question is here and of course the answer appears here too, or you might find that the answer you're looking for is already in our bank of questions. So I'll be back tomorrow morning for the market commentary for then. Any questions, please get in touch or join us on more sessions. We're always happy to help if you have questions live, and I will see you soon. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.